The finish line is also a starting line. In order to forgive yourself, you need acceptance. Accept the way the last season went. You showed up, you did your best, and your best looks different in every season. And so it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be on point all the time. But will you give yourself the grace to start again? Will you give yourself the grace to do something new? Will you give yourself another shot? I'm going to say yes on your behalf because I'm just that friend. We're doing it. What's up? It's your girl, EK Erica Knox, and we are back with another episode of Two Things Can Be True. And on this episode, we're diving into the idea that you can also be a rookie and a vet at the same time. And what does that look like? How can I be completely new in a season while also having mastered a season? And that's what we're going to get into because two things can be true. Tune in. Let's talk about it. So to kick off the conversation, let's take a step back. How can I be a rookie and a vet at the same time? Well, it's easy because sometimes we have new season syndrome where we're literally stepping into a season that we prayed for with so much territory that is just ready to be conquered by us. New opportunities, new business deals, new friends, new people. But then that little thing called sorrow sneaks in and you're slowly having a bit of sadness, missing your former life, the familiarity, the comfortability, and the stability that you felt like you had in the last season. And that is literally how you can be a rookie and a vet. So now let me get into the rookie because I think being a rookie, being a novice at something again is a powerful stance. I know that we love to say, oh, I'm on this journey of self-mastery to master myself, but you can't quite master something until you decide to be a rookie again so that you can see it with fresh eyes, with a renewed sense of importance, and simply just an excitement that you never had because it's something new. When I think about approaching something new, I'm like interested. I'm curious. I want to know what this does and how that does that. I'm inquisitive. I want to know why we got here. But I think when you get to that point of being a vet, you no longer question anything. You're kind of just going with the flow. You're kind of just accepting things as they are. So that's why I think it's important to not only master something, but then humble yourself enough to go ahead and be a rookie again. Now, I have a background in sports, not playing them, but managing them. Let's just get that together. I don't like to sweat, okay? But managing a sport, you can easily see the difference between a rookie and a vet. You know who's been here for a while, who has the flow, who feels themselves every time they touch the field. And then you know who is very new, and they're either one of two things. They're super timid, super shy, and don't really know what to do on this field, or they come in there with that energy. Like, I have something to prove. I'm here to show y'all how I do, and I'm here to show y'all what I'm about. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we can take this, but let me dive into that rookie season because I think it's the one that we're most afraid of, especially as adults growing and wanting to master this thing called life. The rookie can be scary, but it's also super fulfilling if you leverage it correctly. So kicking off in your rookie season, you are literally at ground level again. It feels uncomfortable. It feels weird because it's a direct shot at your ego and your pride, which you poured into in the past season. The past season, you had so much pride in what you could do. You knew exactly what your limits were, but you also knew what your strengths were. And so you leaned into those strengths. You showed off. But in the rookie season, all cards are on the table. And you have to decide which ones you want to play. And it's really, really important to recognize that not only is this an opportunity to diminish your pride and your ego, which brings you true strength, but it's also an opportunity to eliminate those blind spots. One of my friends told me once before that a wise mind has something yet to learn. And yes, it's important to always be doing the work, and it's important to master a couple of things, but it's also important to be open to what your mind has not yet tapped. A new mindset can literally shift your entire life if you let it. And so, with us coming together today, we're going to agree to welcome some more rookie seasons. A rookie is nothing but someone with super energy, with high hopes, high stakes, and it's a recipe for success if you allow it to. The key word is allow. So can you make this pact with me right now? We are going to honor every rookie season that comes our way. We're going to welcome it with imagination, with faith, with hope, and also a little bit of audacity because I've noticed that rookies have more audacity than those who've been in the game because they're like, I know we've been doing it this way, but have we thought about this way? And that is what pushes cultures forward. That is what pushes innovation forward. That is what allows something that once was bland and cool to be great, something good to great, something great to excellent. In your rookie season, it reminds me of those times when I was just a kid. And I know you all can relate with having that one thing that you want to try out. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's theater, maybe it's even just as simple as riding the bike. In that moment, you have no expectation. You are just like, okay, let's just try it. All cards are on the table, but it also gives you the beauty of letting your imagination run, allowing your hope to really be triggered because you're excited about this new thing. You don't know what's to come, but you're also not immediately going into the negatives of, oh my God, what's to come? The energy that you give to that situation as a rookie is, oh my God, what's to come? Do you see the difference in that? That's a power stance. When you approach things with a mind that is of a child, the possibilities are endless. So many of us are living beneath our power, living beneath our purpose, living beneath the thing that we're supposed to really push on this earth because we've said yes to one too many things that are aligned with the status quo. But when you actively imagine something new and you allow yourself to be like a child again and really tap into that imagination, oh my God, I can't wait to see what comes about when you decide to do that. I can't wait to see how many lives are changed when you decide to do that. I can't wait to see how fulfilled you feel when you decide to just be a child again, be a novice. And what I've also learned is that in that season of being a rookie, though it feels like you are uncomfortable because you don't have control, quote unquote, so many people are willing to help you in the rookie season. Do you know how many startup companies get funding because someone sees the promise? They see a seed that has been planted and they know that in order for it to bloom, it takes people investing in it. People will invest in you when you decide to ask for help, but you can only ask for help when you accept your rookie season. And that is power. I'm so excited for that. So in the token of two things can be true, at any given moment, you can choose to reintroduce yourself. You can choose to reintroduce yourself to not only yourself, but to other people. You can choose to be a rookie again and say, you know what? I'm doing something new. You can choose to go on a journey of mastering several versions of yourself, several trades, several gifts, several talents. You're always going to be at a crossroad. And I want to share with you some mindsets that you should kind of adopt in this season. Number one is forgiveness. Forgive yourself for how you showed up or didn't show up in the last season. In this season of being a rookie again, or even as a vet, you have to take it upon you to forgive yourself. You did what you could with the best that you had, but the best is yet to come. The chances that you had are not limited to that season. At any given moment, you can say, you know what, let's turn things up a notch. And so it's really important to know that forgiving yourself allows freedom in this new season. You cannot tap into your imagination and true creativity without forgiving yourself for not maybe doing so in the best way that you thought you could before. The finish line is also a starting line. And so in order to forgive yourself, you need acceptance. Accept the way the last season went. You showed up, you did your best, and your best looks different in every season. And so it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be on point all the time. But will you give yourself the grace to start again? Will you give yourself the grace to do something new? Will you give yourself another shot? I'm going to say yes on your behalf because I'm just that friend. I'm just that friend. We're doing it. We're already here. So let's get into the vet side and the mindsets that happen on the crossroad to becoming a vet. Okay? What I've learned is that I had to give myself permission to experience joy even when everything wasn't together. I feel like when you're on the journey to something, you're so focused on the end goal that you forget it's the destination that equips you to sustain what the end goal is. And so in that instance, I really wanted to just give myself permission. I was like, girl, you have permission to let go of the sorrow, the regret, the guilt of the past season, because at this point, it's overweighing the joy and the excitement for the new season and what's to come. You can't trust yourself and what you're capable of because you keep on beating yourself up based on the sorrow and the guilt and the shame of the last season. It's time to give yourself permission to let that go. You are not that person. The day that I decide that I'm no longer that person, I don't care if it was 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago. When I say that I'm not that person anymore, I am able to forgive myself. The slate is clean. And when I see myself, I can only see what I'm capable of. I can only see see all the tools that I've gained through all of the mistakes that I've made, all the lessons that I've gathered, and see how I can apply that to the new season. But when I'm focused on what's behind me, it pulls me back. Shame pulls me back, and it doesn't allow me to feel what's to come. You need to focus all of your efforts into the future and what's to come. You've gained the lesson, so no need to worry about the mistake you made because you exchanged your mistake for a lesson. You gained wisdom. You gained experience. You gained so much courage. And that is what you have to apply into this new season. So I don't know about you, but I grew up in a Caribbean household, and the one phrase that I would always hear is, you're too bright, Tom bushy-tailed. And that basically means you're too bright and bushy-tailed, as in full of hope, full of excitement. You're just ready to go after the thing. And honestly, why was that said like it was a bad thing? That is a great thing. It is a great mindset to have. And so I want you to do me a favor. Release the weariness of the past season. You mastered that chapter, and now you're stepping into a new one. I need you to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I need you to go into it with hope and excitement, knowing that the best of you is yet to come. Any day that you are alive again, any day that God wakes you up and breathes life into you is an opportunity to do your big one. It's an opportunity to step it up and to really show up for yourself in a way that you've never shown up for yourself. We can't keep seeing every season as something that's trying to beat you down. It is trying to build you up so that you can thrive. And that's what we're here for. Understanding where you are is such a powerful place to be, because once you have clarity, you can go full steam ahead, trusting yourself in that process. It's also important to know that you go from trusting the process to trusting your experience. Right now in this season, you might be trusting the process. You might be saying, I cannot see the next step on this staircase, but I'm going to trust the process will bring me to where I'm destined to go to. But then there's also the seasons where I'm trusting my experience. Honey, I've been here before. I know exactly what I'm coming for. I've learned from the failure. I've applied the feedback, and I'm going full force into the future. You have to recognize where your feet are planted. The soil matters. The environment matters. The people around you matter. And it's important to just take a second and think about it. What version of you would thrive best in this season? It's all about who is needed for this season that you're in. And both of them are valuable. I love the past version of me. Child, something out of nothing was my middle name. But in this season, I'm being asked to rest a bit more, to be working smarter and not harder, to really not spreading myself thin. And I'm okay with that. Now, it's definitely a shift because I'm used to being on my hustle. I'm from New York by way of California. But at the same time, I have to recognize what season needs me and how I can show up really to be a nurturing factor in that journey. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is that vet season. I think we all know about the vet season. It goes without being said. I'm feeling myself. I'm thriving. I finally felt like I've arrived. I feel comfortable in my body. I feel comfortable at the job. I feel comfortable with the relationship. I am literally a vet. Like, you can't tell me nothing. I work hard for this. In that season, you go from really acquiring things and acquiring seeds to planting seeds and then reaping the harvest of those seeds that you've acquired and planted and watered and really poured into. And two things can be true. You can be a vet and you can also not feel fulfilled. You can be a vet at the top of the totem pole and still feel like you're not really hitting the capacity of what you're here to do. And that, my dear, is a beautiful space to be as well, because it shows that you know that there is something deeper within you that has yet been tapped into. And I love people like that. I love when we can say, oh my God, that was amazing. What can we do to really thrive in a new way, in a better way in the next season? Because I'm only going from good to great, great to excellent. And there is no cap on my excellence. And so though I'm celebrating this season with all that I have, I'm basking in this moment. I also know that because I'm basking in this and I've hit this level, I am more than capable of stepping into something totally new and more beautiful because I have all of the tools from the last season without the wounds that I carried in that season. There's like this book in the Bible that I love, and it's the transition between Moses and Joshua. For better lack of terms, basically Moses was bringing some people to some good land so they can go conquer the land. And Joshua was right there with him as a mentee. And when he passed the baton, Moses had all of those wounds from all of the journey, but Joshua had all of the wisdom from all of the journey. Because Joshua, when he got the baton, he could run. Maybe the wound that you carried from the last season was breaking your ankle, and so now you feel a little bit more like a rookie because you broke your ankle, so you're in rehabilitation. But Joshua, the new version of you, has the baton and doesn't have that wound. You have the baton, and you replaced your wound with wisdom. Apply the wisdom. Don't look back at the scars that you've gained because they'll heal beautifully. And before you know it, you'll have more flowers and more love around you to even recognize what that was like. But know that you've gained. In every season, you gain something. And if you don't recognize it, you'll be sitting in a harvest full of beautiful things that you've gained and feel like you're in a deficit season. So affirm the chapter that you're in right now and trust that everything is working for your good. And as the vet or the rookie, you are exactly where you're supposed to be, but always check in with yourself so that you can approach it as such, so you can show up as the version that this season needs from you. So I know we want to stick around for so long, but we got to wrap this conversation, girl. I got to get on to some things, and I know you do too. But let me just remind you, it is okay to be a small fish in a big pond. It is okay if your environment has changed and you don't quite have a grasp on what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to show up. Not knowing invites you to a conversation with yourself that allows you to gain clarity and persistence for what's to come. You are capable of choosing to swim and not to sink. And that is something that we all have a choice to do. And so in the spirit of two things being true, y'all, the only constant is change. And the only thing that you gain from failure is feedback yet to be applied. And so lean into this chapter, going from rookie to vet, vet to rookie, and know that it's a powerful stance to be at the crossroad of choice, of courage, and also compassion. The journey is yet to come. The best is yet to come. And it's on and popping. Let's do this thing. Thank you so much for tuning into yet another episode of Two Things Can Be True with your girl, EK, Erica Knox, here at Woman of Tomorrow. I'm so excited that you're sticking it out with me to talk about these really beautiful complexities of life, from the black, the white, and all the gray in between. We are healing, we are growing, we are thriving in ways that we couldn't have imagined, and I'm so happy to do it with you. I can't wait to see you next time. Don't meet me there, beat me there.